Who's your commander?
Good luck.
Equip.
Move to combat.
Resolves.
Now, before you attack
Does
me,
anyone have an answer?
well played.
Good game.
Hello everyone, my name is DJ and this is the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel. We usually talk about Commander, but today's Singleton weekend, so we're going to be talking about some awesome Singleton decks. Right now in front of us we have a black-white Lifegain deck, and this is more of a fun deck that once it gets rolling the synergies come together and you just end up having a lot of fun. Before we get started, I want to thank TCGplayer.com. They sponsor the entire Jumbo Commander YouTube channel, and this is Arena. You might not want to buy these cards in paper, but you also might be a fan of just the Orzhov colors. So I've picked 4 Orzhov cards that I particularly like, and I've put them in the link in the description. So if you want to see the cards that I'm going to put in an order for right now, go ahead and click on that and that'll take you to tcgplayer.com. You can see what I'm buying right now in the black and white color pair. Well, the first thing I'd like to point out is look at this layout. We can see the cards in order of converted mana cost. Oh, my heart. Okay, but let's go through it in terms of converted mana cost. We're going to be paying attention to ways we can gain life, and then ways that we can turn that life into something that we can weaponize against our opponents. So one of the easiest ways to gain life is Ajani's Welcome. This is going to be a creature deck at its heart, and so this easy enchantment can give us a life whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control. And we have a brand new card that can also do that, Impassioned Orator. We also have Legion's Landing is just an easy way to get 1/1 dudes, and also in the 2-drop slot, we have Dawn of Hope, another way to get easy 1/1 dudes. But Dawn of Hope is a little bit more. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. That is an engine in this deck. When we have so much life gain, if we get a critical mass of mana, then we can just keep drawing cards over and over and over again. Another big payoff we have here is Ajani's Pridemate. This can come down early and get huge. I wish we could have more of this amazing 2-drop. And then we can leverage some of our life gain. With cards like Dusk, Legion, Zealot. Kitesail Freebooter is just disruption, but another thing that leverages life gain is Arguel's Bloodfast, giving us card draw at the cost of life. But we have tons of life to play with. Also, just little bits of incidental life gain here and there. Moment of Craving. Get rid of those aggressive cards and then boom, gain 2 life. In fact, this deck lines up perfectly against many different aggressive archetypes because we have early drops and we have life gain to get us out of danger of some of the more aggressive decks. And then speaking of aggressive decks, I do have an inclusion in here that can kind of work towards combating some of the aggressive decks, and that's Plague Mare. It doesn't necessarily work with this synergy of black-white life gain, but giving your opponent's creatures -1/-1, it takes out quite a few rats. I have had that happen before, and it is majestic. Okay, let's look at a few more cards in the 3-drop slot. Resplendent Angel gives us angels when we gain life. That is a huge payoff. And then we have Benalish Marshal pumping everything, especially those little 1/1 tokens that we're making all over the place. Midnight Reaper is similar to some of the other cards we have like Dusk, Legion, Zealot, or Arguel's Bloodfast, because Midnight Reaper gives us card draw when things die, but at the cost of life. We're going to have plenty of life to work with. Isareth is a card that I've just been impressed with, getting cards back from the graveyard. Unbreakable Formation is an insurance plan against all of the nasty things that your opponents can do against you, and then also an ability to pump your team. We have a few other things that pump, like this Benalish Marshal down here. And a little bit of removal. Golden Demise hits a lot of our own creatures, but it's kind of something that we need in order to really combat those aggressive decks. And then we can get to the City's Blessing to just have this be a one-sided mini board wipe. Mortify, again, answering some of the problematic things in this format, like creatures, but also those enchantments that sneak in and you're like, oh man, I really need an answer for that. And then finally in this category we have Orzhov Locket, one of the only pieces of ramp we have in this deck. We do top out at 6, so I think we're okay with just a little bit of ramp, although would like a little bit more. Okay, at the 4-drop slot, we have a lot of more interaction. Ravenous Chupacabra takes something out. Basilica Bellhaunt, really combating our opponent's hand and has incidental life gain. Conclave Tribunal is another piece of removal. Vraska's Contempt, more removal. Kaya's Wrath, we have a board wipe again to those aggressive decks, those creature-based decks, and this gains us life, so again, we can push our life total up. And then we have a few threats in the form of Vindictive Vampire. Our creatures die, we start draining our opponent out. And Twilight Prophet, another piece of card draw that drains out our opponent. Elenda the Dusk Rose can just turn crazy amounts of death into a huge army on our side of the battlefield. Seraph of Scales, again, it's value. It's a 4/3 flyer and it comes down pretty early. It can just beat people in the air. But then also has this value of Afterlife too, which is really impressed me so far. Going up to the 5-drop slot, we have big life gain and Lyra Dawnbringer, just huge, and then there's also a few other angels in this deck that could get pumped by it. We have another big creature in the form of Doom Whisper, just gigantic. More big stuff with Vona, Butcher of Magan, a 4/4 Vigilance lifelink, but it's the removal on Vona that's really great. Pay 7 life, just boom, kill a permanent. I love it so much. I've been really impressed by the Eldest Reborn. It's got 3 different modes. All of them seem to be pretty relevant, but it's that 3rd mode, just bringing a creature or planeswalker back, that has been really impressive for me. And then another little bit of thing in the 5-drop slot, Blade Juggler should technically be in the 3-drop slot because we have a lot of little incidental creatures that could get this spectacle going. But even if it is a 5-drop, it's fine. I want to keep the momentum going and keep having creatures hit the battlefield. And then Regal Bloodlord is another small life gain payoff. I wish it did more, but I can sometimes gain life on my opponent's turns as well, so this could just put a bunch of little black bats onto the battlefield. And then I know that because of the new layout, it's going to be hard to see some of these cards, but we have a few 6-drops that are just, oh, so great. This is Consecrate, Consume. Consecrate is pretty mediocre. You can cycle it, that's fine. But Consume is another removal spell for 4 mana. Target player sacrifices a creature with greatest power among creatures they control. You gain life equal to its power. That's what we want. We want to control the board and gain some life. And then let's skip down to Ethereal Absolution. Your creatures get +1/+1, your opponent's creatures get -1/-1, and then it creates another engine. Exile a creature card from an opponent's graveyard, and you get a 1/1, which, by the way, it's a 2/2. So this, again, pumps a lot of our stuff. We have a little bit of a token strategy going on, and really this just has a huge impact on the board of making your creatures so much better than your opponents. But one of the cards that really inspired me and how we're going to finish out this deck is Revival Revenge. And let's just mention Revival. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yes, that's good. Get a Dusk Legion Zealot back. Get a Resplendent Angel back. Sure, all that stuff is great. But I'm interested in Revenge. 4 white, black for a sorcery. Double your life total. Yes. And then target opponent loses half their life rounded up. Half. It's so much life. Oh my gosh. All right. That is just the fun, goofy nature of this crazy black-white life gain deck. I've got some lands over here, and you can check those out. There'll be a list for this deck in the description, and I've learned how to export lists. I think it used to be a button at the bottom, and now I don't know where it is anymore, but I will figure it out. This one is going a little bit heavier on the life gain. You'd probably do a little bit better by maybe taking out a few of the more gimmicky cards and adding maybe a 4-mana Karn for some card draw. Maybe, again, like a treasure map or something like that for a little bit more consistency. But I've been playing the deck as is, and it's pretty fun when it gets going. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this quick Singleton deck tech. I'm going to be putting out a lot of these because I just enjoy playing Singleton. Thank you, patrons, so much. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you like this deck tech, and I'll see you on Arena for some Singleton. Bye, guys.